So what we're going to be talking about, I guess, Mandy, I don't know, have you told them what we're talking about? Okay, so let me tell you what we're talking about first. So what we're talking about is I see so many of you guys doing such an awesome job about opening up more and sharing more pieces of your story and things like that. And many of you are getting a lot of comments, a lot of reactions, a lot of people liking your posts and commenting your posts. And, I don't know how many people you're getting personally reaching out to you, but I know a lot of you guys are getting a lot of interaction. But I feel like just from talking to some of you that a lot of you all kind of get stuck on like where to go next. So you're starting to develop, you should start seeing some trends of like certain people who are maybe liking your post and commenting, and maybe they've done a free group with you at this point, but like they're still not, kind of committed to a program, and or you don't really know where to take the conversation and how to like take that next step. So let me tell you that, as you start, and I think you've heard Mandy and I say this before, this is a relationship business. Like, this is not a business about sales, it's about relationships. And I think that so often, we get caught up, even if we're trying not to, we kind of get caught up on our, like on our own agenda of, okay, great, this person liked this stuff, so like, how can I transition this conversation to fitness so I can get them on a challenge pack, right? And it's not even just about the money. It's just because like we want to help them because we know what we have, right? Like we know what it's done for us. So you're like, how can I get them there? Like, how can I get them to purchase? And sometimes we just like throw our relationship skills like out the window. And like, I know all of you guys, have good people skills, good relationship skills. You have, good friends in your life. You've developed good friends here on our team. And so I know you know how to talk to people, but for some reason, I think like the pressure of everything that this is can sometimes like make you just kind of forget how to do that. So this is something I've been really working hard on. Because I'm guilty of it too. And there was a point in my business where I felt like I was really guilty of it, that I was just kind of like seeing how fast I could transition the conversation so I could get the challenge pack sale so then I could just move on to the next one. And I really tried to that wasn't very fulfilling for me. And I recognized myself doing that, and I felt like I was helping people. So then I wanted to kind of transition away from that and get back into the relationship building. Now, the relationship building can be time consuming, and sometimes I think that's what holds people back. But I just kind of wanted to go over like how to get your people, how to transition them from supporter to challenger. And I feel like this is something I'm getting better at. And I think definitely when you get to the point where you're in your cold market and you don't have people that know you personally or trust you personally, that this is a big thing that like you really have to develop. And I'm proud to say that once everyone that I've sent a link to makes their purchases, I should be at Success Club 8 this month, all from people who have just reached out to me on my like page in the last few days. And it's all because they're following me and getting a connection with me, and then we're building a relationship from there. And or because I'm sharing pieces of my story and they're connecting with that. And I even had 2 people say, I know everything about Beachbody. I know everything about the programs. I've already researched them. I want to do the 21-day fix and Shakeology. I just know I want you to be my coach. So for me, I'm like, that's the most fulfilling feeling ever. If someone already knows everything about that, they're just coming to me because they want to purchase from me, because they want me to help them, because they've connected to me. I think that's like where you kind of feel the power and feel like, okay, I'm really making a difference in people's lives. So, but all that can be scary. So I'm just going to kind of break it down for you and give you a little overview of how I take someone from a supporter to a challenger. Okay, so I've got some slides here. So I'm going to screen share. So there's always a delay here. So give a thumbs up when you can see. Okay, can you see the typing and everything? Fine. Okay, let me know if somebody let me know if you get to a slide and it's too small. Okay, so basically building relationships with your tribe. So your tribe is your people, the people that get you, the people that you can be raw with, and they understand you. They don't judge you. So that's your tribe. That's who you're trying to attract. So the number one thing, like I said, is connecting with your people through social media. Again, we've talked about it a million times. Talking to your audience, not trying to talk to everybody, talking to your audience, knowing your avatar. Your avatar, you should have such, and that's like one of the very first lessons, I think, in our team training. And if you've been a coach for a while, maybe you need to go back and revisit that. I know I have to revisit my avatar probably once a month, once every couple of months, to remind myself who I'm talking to. So you should know your avatar well. You should know what she likes, what she struggles with, that kind of thing. And basically your avatar is someone that's very, very similar to you. So when you're talking on social media, when you're making a post on social media, you want to be talking to you. You really want to, I try to think of it as like I'm talking to my best friend at a coffee shop. When I'm posting and when I'm messaging people on Facebook, when someone reaches out to me, I want to talk to them like I would talk to anyone in person, right? Like not as some stranger on Facebook. I want to talk to them as, hey, what's up? It's nice to meet you. Thank you for reaching out to me. I would love to tell you more. I get a lot. How much is the ultimate reset? I got that message 3 times today. So I ignore that they even ask me that, right? So I go right into, hey girl, tell me about you. Thanks for reaching out to me. I can't wait to get to know you better. Tell me your story. Where are you at? Let's chat. And then we can talk about the ultimate reset and if I think it's right for you. So talking to your audience daily on social media is going to attract those people. It's going to attract those people that are like, okay, I connect with this girl. I get her. I want to keep following her. I want to figure out what she's all about. So in that, you have to be adding value. You can't just be talking about fitness because none of us cares about fitness all the time. Like, I get tired of hearing about fitness, right? Like, I get tired of hearing about how good everyone's eating all the time. Like, you're so much more than that. And as a coach, you have to be giving tips and words of inspiration and just sharing your life, sharing who you are, sharing what makes you you, sharing your struggles and sharing your triumphs and sharing your kids and sharing, whatever makes you you, share that. So your post should really be 80% non-fitness and only 20% fitness related. Really, guys, please limit the sweaty selfies and the smile, look, I'm drinking my Shaco photos. We've all done it. I did it a million times too. But think about it. Like when you're scrolling through social media and someone does that, are you like, oh, that's cool? Probably not. You're probably like, okay, cool. Glad you did that. You're probably a little bit more accustomed to it now because you've been in all of our groups. And that's different. Do that in our groups, okay? Like that's important. That's what those groups are for. Your challengers need to see you being a part of the product. We need to see you being a part of the product. Those are important in our groups. But the generalized people on social media don't care about your sweaty selfies and your Shaco cup. Now, with that being said, you can strategically place your Shaco cup somewhere. You can talk about your kids drinking it. It's not to never talk about Shakeology. You can talk about pumpkin spice. I've seen a few of you make that post lately, pumpkin spice, healthy superfoods or something like that. Like, all that's fine. Don't do it all the time, but every now and then, yeah, Shakeology is a part of your life and you should share it, but it should be limited. Same with sweaty selfies. Even the post-workout sweaty selfie is better if you talk about a lesson you've learned or, make it emotional or personal or vulnerable or something that you've overcome, but just to be like, hey, got my workout in, day 5. Okay, let's try a little harder here. So be someone you would want to follow. Okay, so be someone you would want to follow. Think about the people that you like to follow on Facebook, whether they're other coaches or just other people in general, other people's pages you've liked, whatever you find interesting, mommy blogs, whatever. Think about those people and why are you attracted to them? Why do you want to follow them? Probably because they're adding value. They're adding value to your life, okay? They're adding tips. You relate to their blogs. You relate to what they're having to say. You you feel connected to them in some way. I have several people that I follow on social media that are not Beachbody coaches that I really look up to, and I really enjoy looking for their posts, and I go every day to see what they posted that day. So think about, if you have any of those people, what makes you want to follow them? And then you want to try to be that for your avatar. Okay, so that's where I say know your avatar again. And then when you're connecting with other people, when people are connecting to you through your post, they will reach out to you or they will comment. And that's where this is going, okay? So someone who has liked your post or has commented on your post, they are connecting with you on whatever you just posted about. And that's important for you to recognize. Whatever you just posted about is the meeting grounds for you and that person, okay? So you need to talk to that person about whatever you posted about, right? So okay, someone commented on my post. Now what? Now, obviously, every single person that comments on your post, you don't have to like stress yourself out by like doing something with that comment. So don't take it that way. But what I like to do when I'm like forming my list, especially for the month, is look at people who comment on my post and see which ones are my avatar. Because not everybody that comments on my post are my avatar, right? Like, I definitely got some outliers there of people that follow me that are not necessarily my avatar, right? Just local people that know me, you know, friends of friends, grandmas, you know, whatever. So obviously you exclude them. You pin it down to those people that you feel like are your people, that would make good challengers, you connect well, whatever. So if they post or they comment on something that was just a light, fun post, then I just add them to a list and start forming them. Like today, I made a post about laundry and just a funny, silly quote, whatever, about laundry. So, you know, I had a few comments on there. Now, I don't think every one of those people am I going to, oh, they liked my stuff, I'm going to invite them to a challenge group. No. But I am going to put them on a list. And so I'm just going to and when I put them on the list, when they, you know, like a fun, hearted post or whatever, then they're just on my list to start forming. Like, they're interested, they're looking at my posts, they're seeing, they kind of get me, they think I'm funny, whatever. And so they probably will be commenting multiple times on things throughout the week. If I'm talking to them, again, if I'm doing a good job that week, I'm talking to my avatar. I don't always do a good job. But that's something that I continually work on. So if I'm doing a good job, then I'm going to have my type of people commenting, right? So I put them on a list and I start forming. So guys, the biggest thing I can tell you is forming takes time, okay? Forming does not mean let me send them a message and sell them something. That's not what forming means, okay? It means we're going to connect or reconnect with them, and most likely in some non-fitness way. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit more if they comment on something fitness. But if they comment on something non-fitness, then you're not going to connect with them about fitness, okay? But if you start a conversation with them, if they've commented on your post, Facebook is going to show them more of your posts. So when you're making posts in the future, you want to think about, are you talking to them when you make this post, okay? So think about the person, and if they're your avatar, and then post on social media like you are talking to them. Again, I've said that a million times. And then when you're connecting or reconnecting with them, don't overthink relationship building, guys. It's really simple. Think about if you ran into someone at the mall that you hadn't seen in 5 years and you used to be decent friends or whatever, you used to run in the same circle or you used to go to high school together, whatever, what would you do? Hey, what's up? It's so good to see you. How are you? Are those your kids? They look awesome. Normal conversations, guys. That's all we're talking about right here in forming. I'm not saying anything about fitness. I'm just chatting with you about life. Okay? So just don't overthink it. Just start building relationships. And note that some of these forming relationships, you will form them for a long time. And you'll chat back and forth from time to time. This doesn't mean every day, just from time to time. But maybe you'll eventually invite them, or maybe they'll eventually reach out to you about something when you have call out or you talk about something, things like that. But the relationship building is just so important. And enjoy this part, people. Don't just enjoy getting to know people again. So if they commented on a post that was vulnerable that you posted, or was a transformation, or something that was a part of your story, again, if they commented, they connected. There was something that you said there that made them have a connection to you. They're attracted to something in that post. Even if they're saying, prayers, sweet girl, or, you know, thanks for sharing, or so true, but it doesn't matter what the heck they said. They connected with that, okay? So they appreciated your vulnerability. They made a connection. They can relate somehow something to what you said. Or if it's a transformation, then they're interested. They're like, look at her flipping. Why can't I do that? You know, whatever. So they made a connection. So if they commented on a post, vulnerable transformation, part of your story, something like that, then message them and thank them. This is even if they like the post, is generally what I do. Now, if I have, again, I'm talking about my avatar. I'm not messaging, 50 people that aren't my avatar. I'm looking through and saying, who are these people? Are they my avatar? Okay, I'm going to connect with them. So then I message them and thank them. I'm just being normal. I'm starting a conversation. I'm not expecting anything to come of this. I'm just thanking them for connecting with me. And so connect with them without an agenda. Develop a genuine care for others. Genuinely thank them for liking or supporting your post. And I have an example of what I might say over here in just a second. And then after you connect with them, and if they respond, then continue to be vulnerable with them. Open up to them about more details about your story. Connect. See what they're relating to. They're probably going to say something like, I really appreciate how real you were with that. Or like, I totally understood where you're coming from. Like, thanks for sharing that, or whatever. And then I would respond in going in, well, I really appreciate that. That's sometimes tough to share, blah, blah. And then I would probably go into a little bit more explanation about whatever I was talking about. So again, it could be nothing about fitness. I talk about some examples here. An example message after a vulnerable post. So, hey Farah, I just wanted to send you a quick message and say thank you for your support on my photo or post last night about my gold dress. It is sometimes tough to put that stuff out there, so your support means a lot. How are things your way? Your family is adorable, by the way. So simple, thanking her, then just starting a normal conversation, connecting, okay? 95% of the time, I have people respond to this message because, again, I'm just thanking them for being supportive and then asking them about them. And everyone loves to talk about themselves, right? So then if she responds, and she did, then I just chat with her about life. I show genuine interest about what's going on in her life. And the whole time, I'm listening to what she's telling me and seeing if I can relate to her struggles, triumphs, whatever. I'm asking her questions. I'm trying to pull something out of her that I can relate to. So I'm like, so are you a stay-at-home mom? Do you work? How old are your kids? That kind of thing. And then, she might say, yeah, I work or whatever. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so then I, relate to that. Have her like, oh, I stay home with my kids a couple of days a week. I mean, I love it, but sometimes it's such a struggle, whatever. I'm wanting her, she's already connected with me a little bit, but I want her to connect with me more and feel like she can relate to me and my story, and I want to relate to her and her life. So when you relate to people, when people feel like they make that connection with you, everything else falls into place. Okay? But that's the biggest part. And if you're missing that part, if you're going straight into health and fitness, or you're asking even about their health and fitness goals right away or whatever, you're missing it. You're missing the big connection piece that will really make people open up with you. And honestly, for me, what's the most fulfilling of this all? So I have to connect with you. Again, don't rush it. Just have a conversation with them. So I usually will talk about whatever, mom stuff, life stuff, my struggles, getting out of the house in the mornings, whatever we are talking about and connecting with. And so then at some point in the conversation, it may be that day, it may be 2 weeks from now. I mean, again, I'm not necessarily talking to Farah every single day of my life. But we're chatting here and there, right? Like I have her on a list and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I should probably, say something to Fair or whatever when I'm doing my power hour. And or they're probably carrying the conversation with me too. Again, I think this is where it's important to have the balance. Like don't check your messages a million times a day. Okay, like check them twice a day, have conversations with people, and then move on. No one expects you to be at their beck and call all day long. I have messages in my inbox right now that people sent me at 10 this morning. I've generally checked them by now, but I've been too emotional to handle it today. So I'm going to check them after this call, but that's okay. Those people will be okay with that, right? So you have to set those boundaries for yourself too. So again, if you feel like anytime in the conversation that it's the right time, or if she's talking about her struggles with health and fitness, if she says something like, again, this is where you should be adding value and talking to your avatar in your post. Hey, I saw your recipe about blah, blah, blah the other day. Or, hey, I saw your picture where you're doing this. What are you talking? What is this program? Or, whatever. Hey, I saw where you made pizza and your kids ate it. Hey, what did you do? Whatever. If somehow it gets on health and fitness, then it's okay to start asking questions about their health and fitness journey. But again, it's asking questions. Yeah, so, do you try to eat clean or, do you do something for your health and fitness? I know it's a big struggle as a mom, blah, blah, blah. But again, you have to be adding value when you talk to them and again, relating to them. So here's an example of something I would say. She told me something she was struggling with. And I'll say, I know that I struggled and I still do struggle. I think that's important, not to ever act like you have it all together. I struggled and I still do struggle at times with my health and fitness while juggling my responsibilities as a mom. I've learned to just take it one day at a time, give myself some grace. There's no way that I could stop my health and fitness now though. Gosh, I feel so much better. So there, it's like a little jab. If you ever read Jab, Jab, Right Hook, I'm not asking you to join me, but I'm telling you that I relate to you. I was there. I still struggle sometimes, but I feel better now that I did this for myself. And they're going to be like, oh, I want that. I struggle, but I just struggle. I don't feel better. I want that. Again, connection, relating, all of those things. And I hope this is making sense, but it's so very important. So this is the same thing. I added twice. So don't rush it. Okay, again, don't rush it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I need Success Club and I need to get it tonight. Don't do it. That's why you don't wait to the end of the month. So just, again, be normal. Have a conversation. Pretend you're at a coffee shop, not on Facebook, trying to do a million other things at once, okay? So in your conversations, I say share with them how Beachbody programs have changed you, but don't mention Beachbody. So this is where it gets tricky, right? But I personally think, it's not that I'm ashamed of Beachbody, but I don't mention Beachbody a ton. Even when I'm talking about a specific program like the 21-Day Fix or whatever, I hardly even use program names, honestly. That's my style. It may not be your style, and that's cool. I'm just sharing with you what works for me. So, for example, again, this is when we're getting more into the conversation, and I'm still just sharing with them, not saying, hey, let's go to a challenge group. I say, I remember when I was constantly looking up diets on Pinterest, pinning a million different things, a million different workouts, but it was really just so overwhelming. I just never knew where to start. I never knew if it was a legit program or if it was even worth my effort. I needed guidance. Luckily, after lots of research, I stumbled across a program that taught me everything I know about nutrition. It taught me a lifestyle, not a diet. I'm forever grateful I found it. So again, I'm just sharing with her what these programs have done for me. But I haven't said the 21-Day Fix. I haven't said Beachbody. And how many of us have pinned a million freaking workouts on Pinterest and a million recipes and never done any of them? Amen. I have a board of probably 250 freaking Pinterest workouts, right? So again, all this free stuff available if I did one of those workouts, would it get me in shape? Yeah, probably. But I still needed more than that, right? That wasn't enough motivation for me. People can relate to that. I guarantee you who I'm talking to is freak. That's so me. I've got so many freaking Pinterest workouts I don't even know what to do. So again, relate, and be real. So again, something like that's usually going to lead us to them talking about their struggles, them opening up and being like, girl, I know I got all this freaking fitness crap on Pinterest. I just have no motivation. I get home, I do dinner, I do the baths with the kids, and then I'm just over it. So again, relate back to the struggles, and I talk about how I overcame them. Girl, I totally get it. I was exactly where you are. I want to tell you, though, that there is hope, and I can help you. I'm not saying buy from me. I'm saying I want to help you. I actually have made a video. I actually have a video I made. It's just me sitting at my coffee table talking about the program that I mentioned to you that helped me to get started. Would you want to check it out? That way you understand what I'm talking about, and then you can ask me more questions about it. Simple, right? Again, I still haven't mentioned the 21-day fix. I haven't mentioned anything about that. This is how I invite, and this is where I personally use my videos all the freaking time. So that's why I think for me and the way I invite, it's important to have videos. My videos are not perfect. If you're a challenger of mine, you've probably seen my videos. But you've probably seen my videos. It's me. I made it like over a year ago. I have a coffee table. There are 2 videos interrupted that need to be spliced together, but I'm the worst video editor ever. You can ask Mandy. And so it's imperfect, but imperfect is relatable. So they worked well for me because I'm just sharing my journey. So again, you don't have to have your own videos. That's just me and my personal style, and I feel like it fills in the gaps, so I don't have to talk to people, explain a million things. So, I mean, it's just a tip for you. Again, you don't have to. And that's why I don't particularly like using the Beachbody videos, because, again, I feel like it starts to feel a little impersonal. But, again, that's me and my style. You've got to find yours. So then the question, how much is it? So this is how you're going to overcome the price objection before they could even say, I just can't afford it. Okay, because that's what they're going to say, right? So normally after they watch the videos or whatever, after we get to this point in the conversation, people are going to be like, wow, that is so awesome. I totally think I could do that, but I'm worried about the price. How much is it? That's generally what people say to me, okay? And so I respond back. So I think this is so very important in your responses. Right here, I think this is a huge piece, is that first of all, you don't talk to them as if maybe they're joining. You talk to them like they're going to do this. You're pumped to do it with them. They're going to do it. And you're going to add value, value, value of everything they get. So, girl, I know you could do it, right? So no capital letters. Now, I feel like this stuff's important when you type, like you're typing. Girl, I know you could do it. So let's talk details. Again, I'm talking normal, like I'm in a coffee shop. Girl, let's do it. Let's talk details. Total cost of program is $140. This is the sale price, blah, blah, save you $70. You get this. All this stuff you're getting. No ongoing costs unless you decide to keep drinking Shakeology. But that's something that you will decide later. 100% money back guarantee, even after the 21 days. But not just that. And I put all that stuff in the beginning, but then I really want to end it with more value and more relating and more tugging at their heartstrings, right? I have a private support group on Facebook that you'll also get access to. I also use an accountability app to help you stay on track. You will never be alone. I will be with you every step of the way. As we talked about, honestly, my biggest transformation has happened from the inside. I believe that is where the magic happens. I know you opened up to me about struggling with negative self-talk, low self-confidence. I would love to have the opportunity to mentor you, to help you overcome those mental struggles and become the confident and proud woman you were created to be. Are you ready? 90% of the time they say, I'm ready. Let's do this. Do you see how much value has been added there? I think that's key. And all of this came from, they related. We had conversations. They've opened up to me. 95% of the people I talk to have negative self-talk, low self-confidence. Heck, all of us staring right here have that, right? How many of you have wrote that to me or Mandy? You know, how many of you, and I still do it too, and maybe still does it too, we all struggle with that. That's one thing that you can relate to with every single freaking woman you ever talk to. I guarantee it. I don't care if you think she looks like a model or if she's 300 pounds. She has negative self-talk, she has low self-confidence, and she struggles. And you got to find out what it is that she struggles with, why she struggles with it, and then help her. Because when you're helping yourself, you want to help someone else too. And you can help people even though you still struggle with it. I think that's important to know too. You might be like, God, I still struggle with that so bad. How the flip could I help someone else? You can help each other, right? Like, you can help each other. I still need people to help me. I still need Mandy to tell me to get my freaking, quit complaining and get my freaking head on my butt. Like, I need her. You know, I almost said I can't do the call tonight. But no, I've got to suck it up. I can't just sit in my room and cry because I feel sorry for myself and the news that I've gotten today. I've got to move forward, right? So that's the little things that you gradually overcome, and then you share that with other people and you help them to overcome it too, and you overcome it together. Again, it's not about perfection. That's not relatable. So all of this build, at the end of the day, just build relationships, share your story, and have a genuine heart. People can feel that. And when you're doing that, when you're adding the value, when you're connecting with them, it all will fall into place. But that's the key. Okay? Connecting, sharing, relating, okay? And then just adding value, being the person that you want to follow, being the person that you look up to, that you would want to meet, that you would want to help you, okay? So that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions? Was that overwhelming? I feel like everything's overwhelming these days. I'll say you all can unmute yourself. Did anybody find that helpful or feel like you got something out of that? I'm still sharing my screen. I'm trying to stop.
Denise, did you have something to say? I saw where your hand was raised. Or was that accident? Go ahead.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. Sorry. We can't hear you. No volume. Yeah, I think that was very helpful too. Keishia, I think you're muted too now.
What did you say? You think it was helpful?
Yeah, it was very helpful because, and Keishia and I were talking about this today too. Like, I've been doing some training as well, so it's really kind of hit home that you really can't connect with people until you connect with them emotionally, and you have to get people to know you and then trust you before they're ever going to trust you enough as their coach. And, it's really something that I've been working on myself. Is you, as a coach, you constantly have to reflect. Like, you have to reflect on what's working for you. You have to reflect on what's not working. And for me, I've always been Fitness Mandy. I've been Fitness Mandy for almost 15 years. So it's hard for me not to post my fitness stuff. But guess what? Every single post that I make that's not about fitness is what connects me to other people. It's my struggles that what connects me to other people. Or when I make a fitness post and talk about the internal changes, that's what connects me. Because I think a lot of times we miss the mark there. And, we talk about, oh, I lost 25 pounds and look at this before and after photo. But we don't talk about what happened on the inside. We don't talk about how we went from being insecure to secure or depressed to happy and, all those different internal changes that happen. And that is so important because, people what happens is they get inspired because they see something that they want. They see somewhere where they want to be, and they think that there's hope that maybe someday they can have that too. So I think a lot of times that we miss that mark, and we don't share that enough. And not to say that Beachbody gets all that credit, but there are so many things in my life that I would not be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for coaching, or if it wasn't for, doing the programs that I do. And so I honestly feel like you have to believe in what you're doing 150% to be able to share this. And, just like, I made a post this week, and I think you do, like, when you're thinking about those vulnerable posts, about, like, one this week that I did was about, like, how I felt on the inside. And Keishia touched on this, body image. I mean, who has ever done negative self-talk? Who still does it? I mean, I remember weighing 122 pounds, competing for a bikini competition, and picking myself apart the same way I did when I weighed 162 pounds. It doesn't matter. I feel like as a woman, you're constantly going to find something that's wrong with you, right? So women relate to that, right? Women relate to that. So anything that that somebody's going to relate to, talk about it. And how I started that post, I don't want to have sex with the lights on. And people are probably like, what? It's important how you start your post. It really is important how you start your post. So you do have to put thought into that, but it makes people read it. Do I want my mom to see that post? Probably not. But, it's something that's going to make people stop, because guess what? Every woman can relate to that. Every woman can relate to not wanting her husband to see her with the lights on, right? And so that's going to make them stop, and it's going to make them think. And guess what? It's going to connect me to them, because they messaged me and said, you know what? I know what that feels like, and I'm there right now, and I keep trying over and over and over again, and nothing works. And you know what? Do you say, okay, talk to me about your fitness goals? No, just what Keishia said. And that's so hard, especially for me, because I'm a let's get to the point type of girl, and I made a lot of mistakes in my business, because that's how I'm all business. And sometimes I have to break that barrier down and say, okay, Mandy, let's build relationships. Those are my intentions, but that's how I am. That's how I'm wired. But you have to break that away. And something that I learned in my training today, and he was talking about, really showing people, how you've overcome something. And it might be something as simple as body image, but, just by sharing things. And this is a message that I wrote to somebody today, and she was battling with depression, body image, a lot of the same things that I battle with. And so, what I was telling her, I said, I know what you are experiencing, and I know how it feels and how badly you don't want to feel like that, right? Because we don't want to feel bad about ourselves. We don't want to feel depressed. And I know you want to resolve every bit of this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be your coach, but more importantly, I'm going to be your friend. So talk to me, tell me your story, what's going on. Instead of talking about a challenge pack, instead of telling me what's going on with your goals. And I think that's where we all need to kind of take a step back and get to know people. And, it takes time to do that. Like, it really does take time. Yeah, Natalie, you say you're wired like that too. It's taken me 2 years to slow down. Like, it really has, because I was talking to Lauren today too. She was having a lot of ignores on her conversation. Same thing, getting right to the point, right to the invite. And it is like, because you feel like you're working and you're inviting and you're not seeing any income necessarily from your coaching business, because you're not hitting Success Club, but the harvest will come when you're building those relationships and you are being authentic and you are fostering those relationships. It will come. I promise you that. When you have those like-minded people who believe in this 100%, and you start to see people to change, not just from the outside, but the inside, that's pretty amazing. When you start to see people go from being depressed to seeing them shine, seeing them glow, that's what Keishia said is so fulfilling with this. That's what, when I am overwhelmed, that's when I can take a step back and pull up somebody's profile that I worked with 2 years ago and say, okay, that person came to me 2 years ago who was down in the dumps, and now look at her now. It's not because she lost 20 pounds. It's because she found herself again. She was able to find herself through health and fitness. And that's what I tell every single person that I talk to. Health and fitness is 1% of what I do. It's a teeny tiny percent of what I do. It's an avenue to help other women. It's an avenue because the mindset, like if you can get the mind right, and Shanti tells me that every day, if you can get the mind right, the body can do anything else, right? And it's so true. If you can get your mind in the right place with your coaching business, with your health, with your fitness, with your fat blame nutrition, like everything else will fall into place. And like this, I mean, what Keishia said is so spot on. She's not talking about Beachbody. She's not talking about Shakeology. None of it is all about building a relationship. And Keishia is very good about building a relationship. Keishia, if you look at her, like she is a perfect example of a coach who is not selling. And all of us know, like you can pull up a lot of coaches and you can see them blast sales, blast, a call to action every single day. And you can see that, or you can see that Keishia genuinely cares about people. So guys, we're very blessed to have Keishia as a part of our team. We really are. And she's had a rough day. So I thank her so much for sharing. We love you. You know that. But her heart is just huge. And she gives and she gives and she gives. So we thank you for that. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I know that you guys are so overwhelmed, and we are too, but I think what all of us need to do is just to give ourselves some grace, like we do with the whole body image thing, and say, you know what, girl, good night. You're okay. You know what? Quit telling yourself that you have to have it all together, because you never are. You're never going to have it all together. You're never going to get every single thing done on your checklist. If you try to, then you're going to drive yourself crazy, and that's what I've been trying to do here lately. And it's, it wears on you. I haven't been present with my kids, and, Grace even told me, she's like, you're at your computer all the time, and she's right. I am. So this is supposed to be rewarding. This is supposed to be something that we come to help others and not take us away from everything else. So connect with others, connect and encourage and inspire them. And by sharing yourself and by sharing your story, opening up, it's going to connect. And I promise, once you start getting weeding away all the fitness and Shakeology and Energize, anything else, you can slap that stuff all over Snapchat, because you can just do that. There's different platforms for different social media, but as far as your Facebook, that needs to be that's your reality show. And so most people don't even know what Shakeology is or what it even does for you. It just looks like a chocolate milkshake to them, so they don't care. That's not going to speak to them. So that was good stuff. I took a lot of notes.
Good. I'm glad. Thanks for all your sweet words, everyone. I appreciate it. Seriously, I do. And yeah, it's just like Mandy said, sometimes we do just need to slow down and, getting emotional today and, getting news, and I'll share with you guys because you're my people, but my aunt, who I'm very close to, grew up next door to me, my second mom. My mom's the oldest of four. My aunt's young, 50, mom of 3 kiddos. And a couple of weeks ago, she was told there was some shadows on her x-ray, and they weren't sure what it was. And then she had to have some further testing. And then today she had a CT scan, and the doctor had been hopeful that it was just a bad x-ray, but we were told that she has multiple masses in her lungs, and but it doesn't look good for sure. So she's got to go and have some more tests ran next week. But for me, it just really hit me hard because it's very similar to how I learned about my dad. And the first test they're doing is what we had to do with my dad. And it rocked me to my core. And it brought so many emotions back, not only the fear of losing her, but just all those memories again, going through all of that with my dad. And it's been hard. But, that's life. And I just it is just like Mandy said, it is those moments. And And it is a good reminder for me to just remember that, like, it all changes in a second. Like, give yourself some grace, like, enjoy life, and quit putting so much pressure on yourself about the little things that don't matter. Like, who the flip cares if your house is clean, guys? It doesn't freaking matter, women. I don't know why we care about that. Like, if there's a pile of laundry, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I guarantee you my aunt doesn't care about that today, right? And her kids don't care about that today. And I remember those moments spending in town with my dad, and I remember right after he learned about his diagnosis, and him just sitting outside on the deck and raising his hands up to God, and him just sitting there because he knew. And like, at those moments, guys, like, just stop and be still. Appreciate the day and where you are, because it changes so quick. You never know. And so really try not to let the little stuff get to you. It's a good reminder for me to stop letting it get to me and build. And we're all doing the best we can do. And life's about so much more than all the petty things we worry about all day. So you are enough. You are doing enough. You are changing lives. You are important. So don't forget that. Love on your family tonight. And just be thankful for where you are. So I appreciate you all, your love and your friendship. I can feel it. So I appreciate it. So I'm sure I'll have more breakdowns in the days ahead, but just staying strong in my faith and hoping that maybe we'll get better news than the pending news that feels like it's coming. So we'll see. All right. So thank you all. Love.
Good night, guys.